What's up, all you lovely internet movie fans, and welcome back. Happy Tuesday to everyone coming to you, and that's probably when these shows are going to start dropping every Tuesday for my movie news roundup, so stay tuned for that going forward. But let's dive into and discuss everything going on in the world of movies. Fantastic Four had a fantastic opening weekend, number one in the box office, great opening weekend, great opening night, biggest opening night of the year so far. Anna Noguera, I'm not sure how to say her name, the writer for Supergirl, is going to be writing the new Wonder Woman script coming up, and Teen Titans as well. Get excited for that. I am. And then some DC news. Superman crosses the $500 million mark. Way to go. Love that for that movie. Lilo and Stitch is the first $1 billion movie of 2025. F1 is going to be re-releasing in IMAX starting in August. Peacemaker Season 2 coming up. A little Comic-Con news roundup. And then the discussion of what's going on in the world of comic book movies. We are on absolute heater run right now. We've had 3 great comic book movies in a row, and lots more to look forward to coming up in the next 6, 12, and 18 months. Get excited for all of that. That's your weekly roundup news, and let's dive into and discuss each individual topic now. Love you guys. Let's first off start with Lilo and Stitch, a movie that I didn't really have too many expectations for, really didn't care much for. I don't really care much for the original animated movie, but this live action Lilo and Stitch movie has crossed the $1 billion mark. And to think, this movie was rumored to be put on streaming, straight to streaming release initially, but they revamped it. They said, no, let's give it a wide theatrical release, and how about that? It's over the $1 billion mark now, an absolute success, and we're definitely getting a Lilo and Stitch 2. The original writer is coming back, and he's going to be doing that one, I believe, so looking forward to that, and that's just some big news in that realm, too, for a movie that I actually thoroughly enjoyed and thought was not bad at all. Superman has crossed the $500 million mark. It's just killing it at the box office. It's got such great legs, and I think for the terms of it's rewatchable, just get out of town rewatchable. It's a great watch in general, but it's so rewatchable. I've seen it 2 or 3 times now, and it's worth it every single time. The message, the coloring, the hopefulness, the vibe. This is Superman, and this is what Superman is supposed to be, and it deserves all the money it's making. It's a great start to the DC universe for what it's doing overall, and just the tone that it's setting for the movies going forward, which they have some absolute bangers that we're going to discuss coming up because I'm so excited for the future of DC. But their next property is Peacemaker Season 2. And James Gunn's told a lot about Peacemaker and how it's going to be very important viewing. Some of the stuff that goes on that is going to discuss and we're going to dive into in terms of how the DC is going to move going forward. We're going to have to dive into how the first season ended with all the characters showing up in terms of Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman. They all showed up in terms of silhouettes at the end of Season 1. Apparently it's a funny answer and reveal in terms of how that's kind of like moving forward and how they address all that. So I'm looking forward to that. And I just love John Cena in terms of what he does for Peacemaker 2. He knows he's in on the joke. He knows what Peacemaker is supposed to be. He understands the character. And it's just a great, funny, raunchy, bloody, violent watch of a show. And I absolutely love it. I'm still looking forward to Season 2 of what they do with that show. So let's move into Marvel. And it was a fantastic opening weekend for Fantastic Four First Steps. What a great film. I've seen it twice now. Probably will see it a third time at some point, but it's totally worth the watch. Marvel has absolute success of a hit on their hands. So Fantastic Four First Steps takes place on Earth 828. It's an alternate Earth from our normal 616 universe. It's got the retro futuristic vibes of the 1960s, and the Fantastic Four, they're the only heroes on that Earth, and they've done everything. Like, of course, they went to space, they follow their villains, they have all this great tech, the scenery, everything. It's great. They're explorers, and I love that vibe for this movie overall. I could have lived just being there with them in the retro futuristic 60s in the terms of New York City for the entire movie, because that landscape was such a cool, unique decision that I loved. I could have watched them hang out at the Baxter Building all day, just fight some local villains. But when we get Shia LaBeouf, when she comes down to Earth for the first time, the aura, the just deliverance of her just speaking to the Fantastic Four. Are you the protectors of this Earth? Your world is marked for death. I herald. We all know that speech because it's been online. It's gone viral everywhere. But the Silver Surfer looks absolutely phenomenal, and the look of it is great. And there's a chase scene specifically that happens in space when she's pursuing the Fantastic Four in review of Franklin trying to get to him. That is phenomenal and one of the top 5 to 10 scenes I've seen in any Marvel movie. It was phenomenal and it was breathtaking to look at. The visuals are outstanding. I love this movie. And just to think, Galactus himself is not a cloud. He's an actual physical presence that looks great, so comic accurate, especially when it comes down to Earth. I absolutely love that. This movie is great. It did well, and especially people, they showed up for this movie. Opening night, $24 million. the biggest opening night of the year so far, beating out Superman, which has the previous record holder, by over $2 million. So that tells you that people were showing up and showing out for this movie, and it makes sense. Opening to over $210 million worldwide on this opening weekend. Very good for Marvel, the biggest opening since Deadpool and Wolverine a couple of years ago. So that tells you and kind of shows you, and it's their second biggest opening overall since 2022, to put it in perspective. So I know Deadpool and Wolverine was just last year, but this is our second biggest opening in general since 2022. So that tells you that people showed up, the trailers got people in, and the storyline and the storytelling and the visuals and the overall movie has people coming back to it, and they want to show up and watch this on the biggest screen possible. Which, if you can see this movie in IMAX, it's totally worth it, I've heard. I haven't seen it personally. But that just tells you what people expect for this movie. There's some very important scenes in this movie as well, that in terms of where Marvel is going. But the cast absolutely nailed it. The chemistry is fantastic, and everything just plays perfectly. Vanessa Kirby is the heart of this film. She has some very great emotional moments. And of course, we're introduced, as we know from the trailers, to Franklin Richards, which, if you know anything about Franklin, he is just OP, Omega level. Just, he has everything. He has all the characteristics and the powers. He's great. So, I mean, that's a really cool character that I'm looking forward to see where that character goes, and if it could play a role in Doomsday and Secret Wars and in the much broader terms of MCU going forward. So we shall see what will happen with that. And also, stay tuned. There's 2 post-credit scenes in that movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. And then you don't really need the last one, I will say, but the mid-credit scene is actually pretty important and a really cool reveal that I have to say, and that's all I will say about that. So let's now dive into what I want to talk about as my main kind of topic in terms of comic book movies in general and the landscape that we are currently in and where we are going in the next 6, 12, and 18 months within that overall genre. If you think about it, like this year alone, we got Captain America. Now think of it what you will. I personally did not like that movie very much, and I think it was just a misstep for Marvel in terms of the overall story and what they could have done. But put the movie aside. What's come after that has been great in terms of Marvel and DC for movies. We had Thunderbolts, a fantastic viewing at the box office. Didn't really kill it in terms of money, but the overall film quality was great. What a great job Jake Schreier did with that story. Now he's going to be writing and directing X-Men. But we had Thunderbolts, then that dovetailed into Superman, which is absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, over $500 million and steadily pushing forward, turning towards $600 and $700 million respectively for that movie. So that movie's doing great as well, and it's overall great quality and start for the DC universe. Then we just got Fantastic Four, which had a great opening weekend, and audience and critics loved that movie. In fact, audience and critics, they love the past 3 movies unanimously. Thunderbolts, Superman, Fantastic Four. Audience and critics alike love all those movies, all of them above 80%. For critics and audiences scores alike in terms of Rotten Tomatoes. That tells you something, that people are showing up and they're respecting what they watch and they're appreciating it and they're wanting to see it more and more because they are really letting you know, hey, this is good quality stuff. And now thinking about what those 3 movies have done, we are in a great run right now. We're on a winning streak. And I think that's going to continue because look down the pipeline of what's to come. Next year alone, we have Supergirl. I've already said that they trust her so much, the writer for that movie, they've already given her the next 2 scripts in terms of Teen Titans and Wonder Woman to write. That tells you that they really like what they've done with that movie, and they really think they have an absolute banger on their hands for Supergirl. Then after Supergirl, we have Spider-Man Brand New Day. Folks, that movie is going to make $1 billion. Just trust me on that. Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to make $1 billion regardless of what the story is or anything. People love Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. That movie is going to be a hit, and I cannot wait to see what overall story they do for that character because Spider-Man is just awesome. And then after Spider-Man, we have Avengers Doomsday, another $1 billion, pretty much guaranteed IP that's going to make massive and be so very important to where Marvel's going in the future. Because just 1 year from Doomsday, we have Secret Wars, the end-all be-all for this saga and what it's going to represent and really going to shape the MCU going forward. And that movie, again, can absolutely kill it. So we're on a great run in terms of just movies alone for what we have and what's coming in the future. I'm excited for that already. But that's just movies. Think of television shows. Peacemaker Season 2 coming out next month. Then we have Wonder Man. I'm intrigued by that movie, or show, sorry. Then we have Lanterns next year. That's going to be HBO pristine television watching. It's going to introduce Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Then after that, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, The Punisher Special Presentation, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2, X-Men 97 Season 2. There are so many great quality television shows that are coming on the horizon for Marvel and DC. Be excited for that. You don't have to root for one or the other. You should root for both because a rising tide lifts all boats, and because when they are doing great and churning out great content, we as consumers and viewers are going to have just loads to watch and talk about and discuss and have great viewing in front of our eyes. So be excited for that. I'm so excited for the future of the genre. I'm looking forward to that. I will see you guys all at the movies next time. We have Naked Gun coming out this week. I'm looking forward to that, and I love you and see you all at the movies next time. Peace.